in the yard, work boots on, scruffy pants on, ready and willing to do some work. It's a bit late in the day already, but as most of you will be aware, Christmas has just gone. And Christmas is a difficult time of year for everyone, including me. And now if I don't want to be robbed, I'm going to have to hang about down here. My car insurance goes out of my account on the 24th. The 23rd is when YouTube pay me to make videos. That means that the money goes in and then it goes straight back out. But this month, due to the date that Christmas fell on, none of us got paid until the 28th, which meant that my car insurance got rejected. That gives Clothes Brothers an excuse to charge another £30, taking the total up to £231 out. That's quite a bit. Due to my slight infrequency of posting videos, the money was less as well. So I need a solution. And the solution is make some money. Make some money from the things I have around. I've done it before. The only thing is I kind of got rid of everything I had. I need to sell a car. What about Kenneth? I don't really need Kenneth anymore. What about Ronnie Corbett? I don't really need that either. But Ronnie Corbett is possibly getting swapped by the end of this month, and it's a swap that will benefit me. So if I can, I'll hang on. So I've gathered up a few bits. I found loads of aluminium cans as well, and so I'll take those and a couple of batteries. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a little bit of work. In the meantime, I've been drying out my shoes, drying out my keyboard, having a cup of coffee, and detailing the fridge. Gosh, that's a strong one, that. Anyway, hopefully tomorrow we'll bring some news with getting rid of all that crap that I simply don't need, and see me on to the next day. But news, interesting news, not necessarily good news. I was going to be swapping Ronnie Corbett, the Rover 414, for a Mercedes 190e. That was the plan, I might as well tell you now. Anyway, the reason for this is that I thought with the small jobs that the Mercedes need, it will be well worthwhile me actually doing that trade. But now I've had a message saying that he's changed his mind. So that's not going to happen. There's an octopus. At least we have a clearer result with that. And that is that Ronnie Corbett, the 414, is available for sale, should you want to buy it. Batteries. Some are good, some are bad. You can't tell by just looking at the box. Even when you do a test, they can show like 10.5 volts, and you think that's not too far off. Surely a little trickle charge would sort that out, but often it doesn't really work like that. So I need to know which ones I'm throwing away. This one here looks like it's quite new, and it was, in fact, it's about a year old. Thanks to my top done battery tester charger thing, I now know it's completely ruined. What about this one? 11.3, that's promising, but testing it has dropped the volts down to less than 9 volts. What about this one? 10.4. So I've got 4 to chuck away. I don't like going to the scrap metal place. Don't like them. Don't like the image. Don't like the dirt. Don't like the cold. There's nothing really like about it. Don't like the fact that I get absolutely grotty, spend ages going there and back for just a few quid. So that's why I don't go very often. Yeah, the opportunity for me to light the wheels up on the tarmac. Well, that lot didn't come to much. Prices of batteries are low. Price of steel is low, but I wasn't expecting it to be high. And the price of aluminium is much lower than I was expecting it to be. So, what am I going to do with my £45? Not a lot. Put it towards next week's rent. I'm going to have to do something a bit more drastic. Merry Christmas, everyone. Clear plan then. I'm going to put Kenneth up for sale today at a very reasonable price because obviously this car needs a few things. First of all, it needs a wash, and then with that money I can hopefully then put Ronnie Corbett up for sale as well. And that car, if I can sell that, I'm going to reinvest into what I'm doing. Something that I've not been able to do for quite a while. I've just managed to keep going by having lots of luck with cars, but that luck's run out. If I'm going to advertise this car, I could do with it at least being not covered in snow. Trying to wash the car in this kind of cold is deeply unpleasant. I thought if I could just wash the snow off, that would make a difference. Just a bit, but not really enough. Well, it's had a bit of a wash. I mean, not exactly a really nice, careful wash. A wash and dry and wax and polish and all that lot. No, just a clean the dirt off kind of wash. Good enough to take some pictures with. Way into the afternoon now. Having washed the car, that wasn't too bad with warm water. Took some pictures, put it up for sale, awaiting inquiries. Inquiries that will probably ask things like, what's the lowest you'll take? Would you swap it for a motorbike? Or, can I buy this off you in 3 years? All of which will be, no, yeah, no, yes, no, yes, no. If somebody says to me, what's the lowest you'll take? I'm going to say, I don't know, you figure it out. That's your job. Driving at night, the different levels of illumination people display makes it all rather awkward, and it also means it's much more difficult to see people dressed in dark clothing. And so this is the end of the video where you see me get to enjoy another week of freedom to be able to carry on with what I'm doing, freedom to carry on with what I'm doing, freedom to continue making videos, for another week's worth of freedom to let my mind think about what's going to come next. Another week from the wolves at the door, so to speak. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting. Battle of life, where the only winners are those that try. Yeah, if you give in, you get nothing. And if you work all week trying to get something, you can very easily get nothing. But never rest on your laurels, as they say. Just because I'm okay for this week now doesn't necessarily mean I should just relax. With Kenneth, the Rover 75, now up for sale, and I wouldn't, of course, there's no way I've been selling that car if it wasn't for this one. But when I first got Kenneth, my idea was, this is a really good, useful family car that has just the right level of needing things doing to it for it to work for me. But then this one came along, which is much more like my kind of thing, except that it's not quite as big. It's not far off though, because the 75 just has a longer bonnet really. I think the rest of the space is about the same. But that's it. If I can sell Kenneth, I can keep going, and then I need to do something to reinvest. Weirdly enough, when you have bills coming your direction and you sell a car, the one thing you don't tend to think about quite as much, or certainly I haven't done, is buying something else. Because it's like, I need to hang on to that money because I can pay my bills this week and next week, but what about the week after that? And that's become my way of thinking about it. I've been like that for a few years really, but it doesn't help with progress. And doing anything where you're doing it for yourself is always going to be a gamble. So I've got to gamble a bit more. If I get some money from one car, I need to put that money back into something else. It's not good just paying bills with it. I mean, it is, you need to do that, but you need to be able to do both. And I've got to juggle it. Years back, I didn't worry about it too much. When I started doing stuff with cars, I'd go out and get something, I'd make a bit of money on it, and I'd be straight on it looking for something else. And at the time, nobody knew who it was, so nothing was coming my way. Nobody were offering me things. It was a case of going onto Facebook, going onto Gumtree, going onto eBay, and just looking for things that I thought, I can buy at that price, and I can sell it at this, or I can buy at that price, take these bits off of it, and then sell it for that. That's how it used to work, and it did actually work. And so, I need to get back to that way of thinking. I'm going to blame my wife for this, I reckon. Why not? That's the easy option. But there's actually a tiny bit of truth in that. I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Once I bought this Astra coupe, an Astra G coupe in Capri Gold. And I paid £150 for it. Because it had something a bit wrong with it. But at the time, I thought, I reckon someone's going to want some parts off of this. And my wife said to me, but you've only got £200, so why do you want to go and spend £150 buying a car? But the next day, I sold the seats for more than I bought the car for. Now that kind of thing you can't really do with Rover, unfortunately, because there's just not enough people about that want the parts. Plus, the parts don't tend to go for as much. I've had enough of having weeks like this where I've run out of money and I've got to do something in a hurry just to pay a bill. And having that situation because of hanging on to money to pay bills has meant that I haven't got any money because of it. It's the difference between savings and investment. If you invest your money correctly, you'll get more money out. If you save it incorrectly, you'll just lose it all. So, things are changing here in Mustardland, and that's one of them that has to change. Otherwise, I may as well just give up and go back to delivering cable. Bye bye, and thank you for watching, and thank you for being a subscriber, and thank you for liking this awful video.